The first two episodes of Ahsoka dropped, and I'm going to give my scattered thoughts about it. Episode 1 was not as impressive as it should have been. Sure, we got a nice scene of Balin and his apprentice rescuing Morgan Elsbeth, and of course, Ahsoka retrieving the star map. A lot of this episode is just character introduction. Even my patience was tested with episode 1's pacing, and it felt like, oh, here's this character, sit around for a few minutes and have scenes drag on longer than they should. Which, if you watch Rebels, this feels kind of redundant and odd, and if you're new to the series, it feels like, oh, I have no idea who this is. Why are we being so dramatic? Pacing at least gets us back to normal speed at the end of the first episode. And I must say, Qui-Gon's ashes must be rolling around after this moment where the character survives a stab wound. Episode 2 feels much more like proper setup for this series. We learned that the HK droid sent to Lothal, where Sabine was stabbed, is actually from Corellia. And we also learned something else. Morgan Elsbeth is a Night Sister. Yes, she alluded to surviving the massacre from General Grievous earlier, but this is where we get blatant confirmation where she is a Night Sister. We're also going to be leaving the galaxy far, far away for a completely new galaxy. Oh, and the Night Sister green magic is actually used, which is a nice touch. We also see how crappy the New Republic is at just about everything. A protocol droid spills the beans that everyone on Corellia, the New Republic dockyard, is an ex-Imperial who didn't get de-imperialized and are just continuing their current jobs. I mean, what on earth? Everyone should have gotten de-imperialized. The excuse that, oh, the rank and file Imperial doesn't care so long as they get paid, doesn't work. No wonder this government fell so easily in The Force Awakens. They're so incompetent that they don't even summon X-Wings and Y-Wings in order to stop any transports that may be holding illicit cargo for weapons. This whole government is held by duct tape and prayer. Also, the Imperials are scrapping Superstar Destroyer hyperdrives for their big project, the Eye of Sion, a massive ring ship designed by Morgan to leave the galaxy and find Thrawn. Overall, my thoughts are generally mixed. This show is where I find the plot and scenario a bit more interesting than the relationships. And what will probably be the make or break for the series for me is the dynamic between Ahsoka and Sabine. I do not like the Master Apprentice Jedi relationship between them, especially since it adds another trait to Sabine when she already has enough of them that could have been developed. She's a Mandalorian artist who's also a genius that built a device perfect for killing Mandalorians. And now we can add Jedi Apprentice into the mix. I'm just saying, a Mandalorian against Shin makes it a better contrast rather than defaulting back to the light side, dark side routine. In terms of plot, what intrigued me was the concept of simply leaving the galaxy far, far away for a different one. I didn't realize that the Purrgil were envisioned to be able to simply leave the galaxy. Also, I think fans, including myself, bought under the assumption that, hey, the galaxy has this hyperspace turbulence around it that prevents people from leaving, which was present in Legends. Speaking of presence in Legends, by no means does this mean the Yuzhan Vong will be back, but a new galaxy as a whole would be interesting. I guess they could be a small cameo without much intrusion. In terms of villains, I want to see the relationship between Balin, Shin, and Marok. Shin doesn't probably care, but Balin will probably find it weird that he's working with an Inquisitor, given that Balin survived Order 66 and Marok was a Jedi Hunter. In terms of old characters I liked in these episodes, Clancy Brown reprising his role as the former governor of Lothal, Ryder Aziz or something like that, while Jai Kel is apparently a senator now. That was a good use of a cameo. David Tennant as Hu Yang is great as usual, and I do like that he actually does have a purpose in the plot. His database of lightsabers allows him to identify Jedi with their lightsabers correctly, though he does feel superfluous in these two episodes. But those are just my thoughts. Please consider liking, subscribing, and tipping the channel on Ko-fi. This is Cyril signing off.